Welcome to the Positive Growth Doctor podcast for women. I'm your host, Dr. Christina Wilson. I created the Positive Growth Doctor after years of dealing with societal expectations, self-doubt, and perfectionism. I leveraged my 30 years of experience as a positive psychologist to address limiting beliefs and gain clarity to build confidence and navigate obstacles to achieve a healthier well-being. I knew that pain all too well, so I empower women to achieve confidence and live a positive-centered life. Subscribe to the podcast and check out the earlier episodes so you don't miss a thing. And let's get to it. Welcome to the Positive Growth Doctor podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christina Wilson. Remember when you were young and you did something that you wish you didn't do or wasn't supposed to do, and there were consequences for that? Sometimes you didn't learn the lesson right away because, you were still young and you were still learning. Of course, that kind of seeks its way into adulthood too, right? So fast forward a little bit more and you learn a little bit quicker because you are more mature. But unfortunately, we can be super hard on ourselves. And, some of the after effects from that, it stays with us much longer than it should or needs to. And when that happens, it could significantly impact our well-being, which overflows into other areas of our life. So in this episode, I explore how women tend to, or why women even tend to hold on to the negative life events or the negative thoughts and replay them. And it gives you 8 powerful tools to help you achieve mental freedom and enhance your overall well-being. To find the full transcript for this episode on your favorite podcast, please share the podcast with other women to help them grow in their journey. And don't just invite your friends. You can actually extend your reach to other women out there that need it as well, that you may not even know well, just by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. I appreciate you. So women are thinkers, right? We tend to ruminate over things, picking them apart, starting at a young age. And there's evidence that this lessens with age, when you are much older. So we tend not to do that as much when we're older. But, it's worth alleviating that so much sooner. Don't wait to improve your quality of life across the lifespan. So isn't that women just have a better memory? Research suggests that it's more about what we view as important instead of what males tend to think is important to focus on. So we recall some types of information better than our male counterpart, which is often associated with other variables outside of just overall memory itself, if that makes sense. Now, this is really important. Unfortunately, much of the academic literature suggests that women are more likely to hold on to the negative memory. The problem lies in our tendency to replay those memories. And it's when we become enslaved by our past and our missteps, because we have those, because we are human, that we are greater risk for being stuck in those comparison loops, which are also associated with the negative thought loops that I talked about often. And we start to focus on what we call cognitive distortion.
And in my programs, I talk about these in great detail so you have a full understanding of them. And distortion, or exactly that, they're distorted. They're stretches from the truth and even reality. That if only I had done this, well, why can't I? Or I'm stupid, or I'm bad, I'm just a bad person. Those are cognitive distortion, and they are not good for us. The good news is that God gave us this great gift. And if we come to Him, He will take it from us and He will literally carry it for us. How amazing is that? As in John 8:36, we are free indeed. So, not so fast, human being, right? Because humans tend to hold onto it for dear life, right? And I usually don't relinquish it very easily. I have to remind myself, hey, it's time to let this go. Time to move on. But not everyone has that skill quite yet. And, that they've recognized it. They're just kind of, this is what I'm used to. And then they just keep on and on and on. And until they just really can't take it anymore. And that comes from our wish to control something that feels so out of control. And human beings want to feel like they're doing something about it when it's hard, right? So let's dial in, okay, on how to make that shift so that you can let go of things that are not productive and do not serve you well as God intended. Okay? So here's 8. All right. The first is mindfulness and meditation. And the idea behind this is to become more mindful and aware of your thoughts and feelings, allowing you to observe without judgment and to let go of that negativity. Now, catching it truly is the first step. And if you're not aware, you can't catch it if you're just going through the usual stuff that you just do. That's just what you do. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can gain awareness, catch it, and do something about it. And I think of it as taking out the mental traps. Okay. And what doesn't serve you, and engaging in practices that are uplifting and clear your mind of all the clutter. That is what it's about. Everyone's different. What works for one might not work for the other. And, as a coach, I help people find what works best for them. For me, I really like devotionals, and I also like journaling. Journaling is something newer to me that I didn't feel like I didn't give it a chance before, but now that I've given it a chance, it has really helped me. All right. So the second one is cognitive behavioral technique. So the thought and the behaviors, that's what we're talking about. And this is all about challenging your thought. Not so fast. Is this really true? In changing the negative thought pattern. So this is what happens after, right? You catch it. You become aware of it. And you can do this by identifying this cognitive distortion and reframing them into more positive and realistic thoughts. Another one is a gratitude journal. I think it's really important too to wake up, every morning and think of what you were grateful for the day before. What went well? Start off with a positive boom. Keeping that gratitude journal, or even just thinking of something positive that morning to focus on the positive aspects of life so that we don't just write them off or dismiss them, because that's what we often do. Okay, yeah, that was great, but right? Writing down things um, is a really helpful way to feel grateful in such a way that you can shift attention from the negative to the positive and remind yourself that's not all bad. There's good. Okay, the next one is physical activity. So, physical activity could be a lot of things. I mean, it could be stretching, um, walking, all different kinds of things that can reduce stress and improve mood. Physiologically, those things happen when you put them together, right? Activities like yoga, walking in nature, um, can help, can be particularly beneficial. I used to do hardcore workout, running and the whole bit. But I'm down at this stage of my life that walking the trails and experiencing everything that God has given us, wow, the gratitude is huge. Um, it's really been a game changer for me. Next is positive affirmation. Use positive affirmations to counter that um, negative self-talk. Repeat them. Post them on your bathroom mirror so you can see them at different times during the day. Remind you, right? Also, you can seek professional help. Find a great coach that is a really good fit for you because you know what you want and you know what you need. You are the boss of you, right? Now, I devoted 30 years to serving others as a therapist, but I found coaching, and I've been doing coaching for some time to be such a beautiful process. I just love coaching. The coach and the coachee walk alongside one another. And I love seeing women have those aha moments and experience those beautiful shifts in life. It is truly a beautiful thing. Another is to connect with supportive people. Building your network of supportive women can provide so much encouragement and help you gain perspective. And we would love to have you join our Women's Empowerment Group on Facebook. And I included the link there in the show notes or the transcript. Limit exposure to negative media. It's the last one. We're so exposed every single day to negative news and social media, which can often contribute to maintaining those negative outlook. And I recommend you don't have to give that up completely, maybe the news a little bit, but switching to joy scrolling from the doom scrolling. It is a game changer. So, watch those funny animal videos. Look at positive stuff. Skip over all that negativity. Your heart and your mind will thank you. All right. So I hope this helped. And I love your heart. And I'm so thankful you are here to pour into yourself. That I loved it. So let's meet up again next week for another episode. Have a blessed week.
Thanks for listening to the Positive Girl Doctor podcast. Be sure to leave a review and tell other women about the podcast. Let's support one another. Find the full transcript for this episode on your favorite podcast app. Watch the podcast on the Positive Girl Doctor YouTube channel and learn more at thepositivegirldoctor.com. And be assured, you are not alone on your journey